Okay, hello everybody. I just wanted to go over the Semitic Y chromosomes and the areas with illustrations because I, when I, my last video didn't show any illustrations, so I wanted to go ahead and show what the evidence is that's out there for everybody to see. So let's just go ahead and see if we can get started here. Hello, Jeremy. How are you doing? God bless. So I was here looking at the FY chromosome. I don't know if you can see very well, but the FY chromosome is located in Oceania and this area here, with the dark blue and the middle lighter blue. So that would be, let me see if I can get this. What am I doing here? Okay. That'll be this area here. So we have the dark blue is China. So we have some F in China, and we have some F in what's called Oceania. This is the FY chromosome, of course, right here. It's in these colors here. So that didn't make sense to me. So what I wanted to do, I wanted to figure out where this FY chromosome actually is, because they have, as you can see here, they have everybody branching off from the FY chromosome, and it's not making much sense if it's only in China and Oceania. How'd you get the F over here? And does that mean everybody came from this area over here and went this way? That doesn't make any sense anyways. Of course, it's not going to make sense because it's not what happened anyway. But as you can see here, you have the F, the G, the H, the I, and the J. And then the I goes this way. So then you have the K. You can see the K branches off here. And this would be the rest of the Japhethites: K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, and T. T is over here. Okay, so I was looking all over the place and I couldn't find where this FY chromosome had originated from until I hit this map here. And I was looking carefully, because you have to look carefully. And you can see this color here, this color here. It's not an E color because these are the E colors here, but it's this color here. Of course, we have the F in the Levant, which makes sense. But then, so I was looking around here, you have some F up here, which makes sense. It's up in between the Baltic and Caspian Seas, because when everybody went north, they went north into Assyria up here and places. But then, hey, wait a minute, what's this here? Look at this. Look at this pie chart from this area right here, and look at the amount of F that's in that location right there. That is almost half of the population in that area is an F, and that happens to be Elam. So that's how I able to identify the Elamites as being the FY chromosome. Then, of course, um, low honesty angel. Then, of course, we have the, well, what's this? Got the same map here. Anyway, just make sure I copy it, that's all. And then we have the H. Well, before we have the H, we have the G, which is, this is not the G. I have to find the G. Here's the G. I'm not able to make it larger because somehow it's not showing it very well. And you can't even see that it is a GY chromosome. It's so unclear. But anyways, you can see the kind of the areas of the G. This is basically the Assyrian or Asher. Of course, we know it went up into Europe, Germany specifically. Some of the Assyrians and up in this area, but it's clearly could be Asher, the GY chromosome, descendants of Asher, the Assyrians, which became the Assyrians, which is the Semitic. Okay, so we have the F, the G, and the, hold on, the H. The H is the Dravidians, and they're concentrated in India, of course. Of course, they went this way too. They kind of split up, but the Dravidians in India, or the people in India, some of them say that they were Arabic. They came from this direction here. And of course, the Arameans, Aram, descendants of Aram, went both directions. So I'm pretty sure this is the Arameans, or the Aram, descendants of Aram, who is the son of Shem. So they have the H, and then of course we have the I. The I, this is the I2. Oh yeah. Oh, and the I1, I guess I have to go to the origin here. Wait, here it is here. Okay, make sure I get it. So this is the I. This includes I2 and I1. So it's the whole kit and caboodle. So we can see what happened was is that when the 10 tribes of Israel got dispersed, they went straight up in this area. They're taken captive right into this area right here. So the 10 tribes of Israel were removed and taken into, of course, Babylon. But they were located in this area right here. From here, they went through this pass up here into the steppe region. And from here, they went this way up into this region over here. And you can see it's very strong here. Okay, this is both I2 and I1. Now we want only the I2. It'll be this one here. This is just the I2 by itself. You can see the distribution here, of course, up in the steppe region. And so the I1 came from the I2, apparently, or vice versa, but Doesn't matter, but that's what happened. They went up, they were taken up into this area here and then dispersed. Same thing with Judah, too, for that matter. I don't even have or do I? See if I have the Judaic distribution charts, but that should be easy to find. You can just go here for that matter. We can see the J1 is the Arabic population, the J2 is the Judaic population, and it's all, of course, all through here, the J2 as well. It's kind of like the same thing, because I mean, if we go look here, okay, go to the images. Okay, so you can see the point I was making here is that they went up into the same basic area as the 10 tribes of Israel. Okay, so when they left Israel, of course, they're still here in Israel, but they went up in this area, the same basic location where the 10 tribes of Israel were dispersed. Of course, there's a whole belt from Italy all the way through to Iran and beyond, as we can see, which is all I2 or J2. I mean, J2s and I2s are related, as well we can see from this other chart. In case somebody wants to see that, let me see if I'll just go here. Okay, so I don't know which is which. Okay, this is it. So you can see the J's and the I's branch off from the same tree. And they have a big thing about rooting the tree. They're saying, oh, it depends where you root it. Because the thing is when the three sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, had identical Y chromosomes. Of course, the Israelites originally, the 10 tribes of Israel originally had the identical Y chromosome to Jacob. So there's a whole thing about rooting the tree. How do you root it? And because you basically have to go back to historical records, because everybody had the same Y chromosome originally. So the E3s, which are not here, all had the same Y chromosome. Put, Mitzrayim, and Cush and Canaan all had the same Y chromosome. And then from them, from Cush came Nimrod, which is C. From Cush came D. From Cush came the A and the B. And then there's the E1Bs. These are more closely related to the Egyptians, it seems, which are not even in this picture somehow. But we have the F, the G, the H, the I, and the J, which are all branching off from the same point here, from Shem, from Arpachshad. Arpachshad is the son of Shem. I mean, Arpachshad is the J and the I. So Arpachshad is the J and the I. Elam is the F. Asher is the G. Aram is the H. And I don't know why they have the F2 separated from the F. Must have been separated going way back from the beginning, which is a possibility. Two different F trees from that were separated way back from at the beginning. So because there's the Oceania people and everything, but the Elamites are definitely the origin of the F because that's what the chart indicates. But the I and the J are branches from the same root, same tree. So that's why I believe that the I is the 10 tribes of Israel that were dispersed, and they were a known people throughout history as being a great number of people. And there's people say that there's Scythians or the Scythians, and the Scythians are actually mentioned in the Bible as people that came back in the New Testament and were known unknown people. So when it talks about the Scythians in the Bible, they're talking about probably the lost tribes of Israel. So that's basically it, apparently. And I just wanted to show that one picture where where I was able to identify the Elamites because it's this F right here. Now they got the F and the G and the H all the same color, which is not very helpful. But the G were the Assyrians, which is a lighter, looks like it's a lighter color here. Basically the same. It's up here too. Anyways, I'm pretty confident that more investigation, more study will confirm the sons of Shem, the Semitic Y chromosomes, that they all have names and names of real people that we're all descended from eventually. And either way, it's the same number of Y chromosomes as it is the sons of Shem, either way. So it does match up. These people said they came from this area. Could be. Maybe these are the Elamites. I don't know. I'd have to find out. But then you'd have to have the Elamites going this way, and it's more the Arameans that went this way. So that's why I'm saying it's Aram is the H. And the Elamites pretty much stayed in this area here. So they're probably the FY chromosome. And that's about it. There's the H right there. And the G up here, which is the Assyrians. And the F would be from right here, which is not being shown. Don't even know if you can see an F on this map. It's right here, as being basically Oceania. It's right here as being basically Oceania F. And right here is basically being Oceania F. But it's probably the Elamites who are right here and, of course, did some sea trade and ended up in these areas. So, pretty confident that it's the Elamites. Oh, look at this. This Elamo-Dravidian. So the Dravidian, the Elamo-Dravidian PQR. But the Elamites, I'm pretty sure in other words, Elamites and Dravidians. So it's probably Elam and Arameans, or went this way and ended up this way. But the Elamites are right here on this waterway, and that's probably why they went all the way through here. But that's interesting, the Elamo-Dravidian, because these are Semitic Y chromosomes. And I wanted to put a name on this Dravidian, and it's probably Aram, because Asher would be the G up here in this area, and the Arameans went both directions, as we can see from this map, this direction and this direction. And it's pretty sure F is the Elamites. This map is probably not that accurate, but that seems to be the color right there for F, which is a huge, it's 50%, almost 50% of the population in this area is F or some facsimile. And that's a huge percentage for it to be sparsely populated everywhere else. And the G is the Assyrians anyway. The Assyrians are up here. But these maps are very confusing anyways. They're not very helpful at all in many cases. So that's about it. And of course, by way of review, we already know about the Kushites, and that the CY chromosome descended from Cush because it was Nimrod was the king in Mesopotamia. It's the only Hamite Y chromosome in the area, other than the D Andamanese D Y chromosome, which went up into Tibet, and Burma, and Japan. These are the Japanese that have beards and somewhat curly hair. They're the Ainu Japanese Jomons from this area as well. Actually, this map is not as good. It's an older, yeah, this is the older map. This is not the good map. So you have to go to Wikipedia to get the better map. So this map is revised. So we can go to, if this is it. Yeah, this is it. This is the better map. Okay, so this the Ainu, the Japanese, the Jomons are here in China, as well as Paleo-Siberian and Tibetan Burma, and they're the Andamanese DY chromosome, probably a brother of Nimrod who has the CY chromosome, both of which are sons of Cush, with the sub-Saharan African features as opposed to Egyptian and Berber features. Even though these are three brothers, the descendants have their own family trees, and it's the Cushites that are the Ethiopians, according to the Bible, that have dark skin, which are probably where the A and the B sub-Saharan Africans came from, and the Bantu, of course, and the Andamanese, and all of the darker skinned people all the way through Austronesia, Micronesia, Melanesia, and Polynesia. All C2Y chromosomes, and the Japanese Ainus have the DY chromosome. So this CY chromosome went all the way. They're the Nadane tribes in the Americas, and they're the probably the originators of the oldest architecture in Central America, which is the Olmec statues, which have Asian and African features, and their Y chromosome, the CY chromosome, is there to this day in Central and South America, which is totally unrelated from the Y chromosome, which is the Asian Y chromosome, the Q, and the Q's here. And the Q and the R are from the same tree, as we can also see. We can also see from this chart here. The Q and the R, this is the Europeans. The R1 and the R2 are the European Asian Y chromosome, and the Q is from the same branch as the rest of the Asians. And of course, the O is the largest population on Earth. It's the Koreans, Chinese, the islanders, peoples, and the N's go all the way up through Norway in northern Siberia. And the T's are interesting because the T's early on are mixed in with the Semitic people, and are sometimes found with the Semitic people as well. And the L's are like in India, and the M and the K and the S. And the K and the S are Australia, as well as the C. So in Australia, you have the Aboriginal C, the K, and the S. And then the M is in the area too. It might have some M in Australia too. So, so you have the S, the M, the K, and the C. And if you look at other charts, you'll see that it has the mixtures, like like discharge. Which one here? This is MT. This is Y. Okay, in Australia we have the K, which is this color. We got the RX. Looks like you got the RX here. And of course the C. Well, this doesn't show very well, but there's other charts that show it better, which probably not going to look for right now. And that's about it. But I just wanted to show this one map of how I found the FY chromosome, which is not really that sure, but this color here is over half this color here, which is the area of Elam, which is the Elamites, and it fits the number of sons of Shem with a number of Semitic Y chromosomes, which is the F, G, H, I, and J, are all Semitics, because you can see they branch off here. And then the K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, and S and T are Japhethite Y chromosomes. And so here in Australia, you have a couple shades of brown here. So you have the K, the C, looks like maybe an O, and a blue color. Anyways, they got to work on the color scheme here because this is not too bad because you have the Semitics pretty much not quite all the same color. It's just mixed in with the E, which is blue too, blue and purple. It's not so good. Yeah, they got to work on the color scheme a little bit better. Okay, and this is the bad chart. But down here you have the categories again: A, B, C, D, E, and then the F, G, H, I, and J are the Semitics, and then the K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, and T. But they have to do some work on these. Canaan is not in here. Canaan is lost, dispersed among the Phoenicians, etc., and the Jewish people. And by the way, Albert Einstein is E1B1, which is usually Egyptian. Of course, you got, let me see, E1A. Yeah, well, some of the pharaohs were E1B1s, and that's why I'm thinking the Canaanites might have been E1B1. Because Albert Einstein's an E1B1, as well as Adolf Hitler is an E1B1 or something like that too, which we can probably go see. Just the famous Y chromosome. Of Nelson Mandela, he's an E1B1. Let me get a better. picture here. Oh my goodness. Somehow this is not working. There we go. Yet Albert Einstein and Nelson Mandela have the same Y chromosome. And Desmond Tutu too. And there you go. So we have the Pharaoh, Albert Einstein, Nelson Mandela, and the Fuhrer. The same Y chromosome. It's not shown here, but it is true. Trying to say view file. Where's the file? Okay. Okay. He's Jewish and related to Hitler. He must have a. Does he have an EY chromosome? There's the E1B1 right there. E1B1. So this is the Pharaoh. What's his name? Ramses the Three. I don't know why they can't get this straight. Ramses the Three, Napoleon, Napoleon Bonaparte, Albert Einstein, Nelson Mandela, Desmond Tutu. Probably because the Jewish people mixed in with the Canaanites, or vice versa. Canaanites mixed in with the Jewish people. This guy here might have been a Canaanite. The Ramses the Three. We can also look up Pharaoh DNA. Pharaoh Y chromosome. There we go. Let's see. King Tut related to Europeans. See if we can have some kind of organized search here. Apparently not. So doesn't mean that he wasn't Egyptian. Just means that he had an RY chromosome. King Tut. I wish they had it more organized here. And like a table where they show all the pharaohs and everything. But I guess it's asking for too much. So yeah, I guess I have to study it on my own and try to organize it. But I'd like to see all the pharaohs, a list of the pharaohs and their Y chromosome. I don't know, people are so concerned about ancient Aryans, ancient aliens. Okay, there's no file to see here. It's just pictures. Oh well. Anyway, so let me just go ahead and go back to this chart because this is interesting in that it shows where the Y chromosomes are found around the world. So the brown, for example, is the Americas. So everywhere there's a brown, you should expect to see for it to be found in America. So let's look at this Q. Q1 is found in Oceania, China. Uh, wow, light blue, all the blues, and an orange. That's not really an orange. That's a dirty brown color. So the Q is found in a dirty brown color, probably maybe Australia, but it's found a large percentage, large amount is found in America. Of course, you have Q2, 2. And of course, the Q is a branch off from the R, which is the European Asian Y chromosome. The Asian European Y chromosome, which is found in America too. See this brown is America, this Q1, the brown is America. And there's an RXY chromosome, which is found in Africa as well. Of course, the N's and O's are the O is the largest Y chromosome percentage wise worldwide, and the N's branch off from that and go up north into northern Siberia and Finland and Denmark. It's where the N's go. But in America is interesting because we can see everywhere there's America. We can see the E in America. We can see the B in America. Very small percentage, but it's there. I don't know if this is an indigenous population or if they were slaves, but there was travel in the days of Solomon to America, and the reason why I'm saying that is because we also have here. There's the T. Remember the T, which is separated early on, sometimes found in Jewish populations. Of course, the J2 is found in Jewish population. That's in America. The J1, which is Arabic, is a large percentage found in America. The I2 is found in America. The I1 is found in America. And the G, the Syrians, remember the Syrians? The G is also mixed in with the Jewish people. The Syrians are mixed in with the Jewish people, as are the E, as we saw Albert Einstein as an E, and apparently the B's too. So this is all a Jewish signature. Even the T, I think, is a Jewish signature. But we need to study the T a little bit more, maybe. And Q is the other people in America, and we already saw they are. Okay. So that's interesting there. But this originally, what got me looking for the F was this FY chromosome that's found almost exclusively, according to this, in Oceania and China. So trying to figure out how the F can be in this area and this area if everybody supposedly branched off from the F, which is not, we know that's not the case anyway, but it's probably the Elamites that traveled around here and went this way into Oceania. And the Arameans that became the Dravidians probably. And the Arameans, yeah, the Arameans that went this way as well. But it matches up with known human history. The evidence of the Y chromosome matches very well. We have the Elamo-Dravidians. That's the Elamites are from right here. And except that the Elamites are not an LY chromosome. The LY chromosome is Japhethite. So the Elamites are probably the F. And the H, if it's not the Elamites, it's probably the Arameans, which also went the other way. I'm thinking the Elamites only went this way. Anyway, now that I'm sure I'm made everybody bored, Jesus is Lord, Shalom, Spirit Realm, Shalom, and it's a lot of fun studying the human history as it corresponds to our Y chromosome evidence. Because when the Jews were kicked out of Israel, expelled, they were taken to this area of Turkey and Assyria. And of course, they're there to this day, apparently. According to this, well, the J2 is widely scattered all the way into China. Look how much J2 there is in China. There's, that's J2 is Judaic. This J2 is Judaic. J1 is Arabic, but the J2 is Judaic. And you can see it here as well. It's kind of showing the same thing here. Mesopotamia, because when they left the Levant, they were pushed north. They went that way. Again, the same map here. This is just a world map here. Okay, so that's about it. As much as I have right now. Okay, we could look at Italy again. We've already side way of review. The E1B1 in Italy would be these black percentages here. And among these black percentages here, you have a wider chart here showing the different kinds of E1B1s. Same thing with the J2. You have the percentages here and showing which kind of J2s you have in here. And the same thing with the R's. Of course, the RY chromosome is the the Asian Attila the Hun Y chromosome. So Attila the Hun wreaked havoc in these areas here, and basically tried to make Europe Asian, but the mitochondrial DNA of Europe remains Semitic, because Attila the Hun apparently didn't bring his wife and kids with him. So that's probably what happened there. And we have which we've seen before, but we have the Hamitic or African mitochondria, genetic distance charts. This is the European Y chromosome, the U and the K and the F and the J and the T are basically European. The N, the A, and the B, and these letters here are more Asian Semitic or Semitic Y chromosomes in Asia than the INS. I don't know what the INS is, but it's genetic distance. It's supposed to be showing genetic distance here. Um, well, I'm saying Semitic Asian. It's the Semitic Y chromosome in Asia, these here, and America. A and the B is America. But it's a Semitic Y chromosome, mtDNA, mitochondrial maternal line DNA. These letters here, CDGM, these are almost non-existent in Europe. They're almost non-existent in Europe, and that's why Europeans don't look very Asian. Some do, of course, the farther north you go, but that's the reason why, because it's Europe is has Semitic maternal DNA, and plus Europe has Y chromosome Semitic DNA too. So these terms are all confusing, and it's all confusing, but it makes sense eventually. Okay. I think I've shown this chart for you. This is Osaka. Now, what I was looking for was the J2Y chromosome. This is Japanese, basically. But you can see the CY chromosome and the D. The D. Notice the huge percentage of DY chromosome in this group, wherever it is. Tamura. So this D is like more than 1/4% of the population. It's like a third of the population, actually. It's more like a third of the population is DY chromosome, and I'm surprised there's a lot of CY chromosome as well, which is the DY chromosome's brother. This is descendants of Nimrod here, CY chromosome. The rest is O. of course. Okay. Now this one we have DY chromosome about 1/4%. We have N, rest is O, and some C. Let me see if there's no other chart. I guess there's no other chart. I can't find any other chart right now. Okay. Hello, Boo. I don't know how to say the other stuff. The other stuff is Greek to me. I can't pronounce it. Hello, brother. Yeah. So let me just go ahead and review since I have some more viewers here. I was trying to figure out where the F came from, and I'm pretty well determined that the F came from the Elamites, and the H came from the Arameans. Of course, these are all sons of Shem. And the G came from Asher, who is where the Assyrians came from. So we have the Assyrians, the Arameans, the Elamites, and the Arameans. They're all the Semitic Y chromosomes of the descendants of Shem. And the J1, J2, I2, and I1 are descendants of Arpachshad, who is the father or progenitor of Abraham, the great grandfather of Abraham. So that's pretty much how that worked. The I and the J are closely associated. The I was pushed north. The lost tribes of Israel, they became Scythians or Scythians, which are spoken of in the Bible as well. They went all the way up into the north here, all the way up here. This is what I am, an I1 M253. It says Germanic, but it's Semitic, and as a matter of fact, a lot of Germany is Semitic, and as a matter of fact, all Europe is maternally is Semitic, has some maternal Y chromosome, and hardly a sliver of mitochondrial DNA from Asia, which we can double check here too as well. Let's go to the NTDNA. This is a good one. So we can see what I want to do is look for, yeah, I think no, the N, the W is still, okay, the black and the dark blue is Asian. So the M, C, Z, D, G, and E and Q are Asian or Japhethite Y, maternal Y chromosome. So anything that's M, because you can see the M here, this is Asian. The C is a dark purple up here. The Z is the light blue, which is right here. You can see the dark blue We can see slivers up here, a sliver up here. Of course, this is very confusing. The color code is very confusing. A sliver right there of Asian, right here in the northern regions of Europe. And of course, back in here, we see the blue, the dark blue. And we see the G mitochondrial DNA in these areas here, apparently. Okay, so what Europe is the H, um, the U is common, the T, and well, here's another confusing color, the J. Confusing with a G because this is not the same family tree. Um, so I'm guessing that's what this is. But this, the J, the U, and the T, these are the Semitic maternal haplogroups associated with Jewish people. And they're all found in Europe. That's all basically what Europe is. Of course, there's a K in here and the HV. The yellow's the HV, which is supposed to be the origin of the H. And I'm an H because I'm a European. But of course, it goes all the way into India, H. And the A and the B, uh, this A, this A and this B, which is this color and this color. Yeah, this color. This A and this B is Semitic maternal DNA, but it's not associated with the Jewish people. So a lot of these letters here are Semitic, but not necessarily associated with the Jewish people as much, of course. And Europe is almost like 95% in many cases Semitic maternal DNA, mitochondrial DNA, with hardly a sliver in these populations of anything from here M, C, Z, D, G, E. There's the E. They're just slivers in these populations, European populations, and mostly concentrated in the north, of course, because that's where the most Asian influence is, in the north here. So the Y chromosome of the yeah, this one, chromosome of the paternal line is might be in Europe is a lot of yellow and red. There's a lot of yellow and red here for the paternal Y chromosome, but it's basically just Attila the Hun trying to destroy Europe or whatever. And he almost succeeded at taking over Europe. It's it totally ransacked Rome and everywhere, I guess, apparently. So that's probably what happened there. And yet, Europe remains mostly Semitic because we still have the I and the J Y chromosome, which is this purple color up here and the green color here. So these green colors and this purple color here is the I and the J are Semitic. It's a good percentage, you know. It's a good percentage. It remains, you know, direct descendants of Israel, you might say. So that's probably what happened there. And of course, you can see how there's a concentration of everybody in the area where the ark landed, and different families went different directions. Even though the R and the Q belong to the same family, this Q here, this Q color is the same branch. I mean, it's a different branch of the same family tree as the R, which is also up in this area here, as you can see. So it's really just a branch off. But this is a relatively small population compared to this population here. Well, at least people that have done DNA tests. If you do all the people that get all the DNA tests done, there'll probably be a bigger population, acute population. Because according to this, according to this, the Q population, well, that's pretty big, but not as big as the R population. And the I and the J. So, in labeling the Y chromosome, the Semitic Y chromosomes, I'm guessing or saying that F is the Elam, descendants of Elam, Elamites. G is the descendants of Asher, the Assyrians, and H is the descendants of Aram, the Arameans. And you have for some reason, you have two separate branches of Elamites or Arameans, whichever one. You know, if you switch the Arameans with the Elamites, then the H would have to be the Elamites if the F is the Arameans. But further study will confirm it, which is which, anyway. So you have F, G, H, I, and J are all the sons of Shem, which is Arpachshad. This is Arpachshad's descendants. Of course, Elamites, Arameans, and the Assyrians from Asher and the Arameans, if that's the way it works. And I would show you the E's right here, but they're not even represented here. I'll have to go to the other map to show it. I have to go to this map here. These are the sons of Ham. You have Put is the father of the Phoenicians early on, which became Canaanites mixed and everything. Then there's the Mitzrayim is the father of the Egyptians. Notice they all have E3. And Cush is the father of the Cushite Ethiopians. And Cush is also the father of Nimrod with a CY chromosome, and his brother, the Andamanese, whoever that is, which I'm not sure. But I'm going to cut it short here, probably, because I've been going on too long anyway. Hey Dan Straight, how you doing? What's up? And Erica Huberner. And now I'm getting views because it's getting later in the day, but I'm going to close up and see if I can watch somebody else's stream now. So hope God bless everybody. Have a nice day. Stick close to God, and I'll be seeing you everybody in a little bit.